checking in no bag, shopping when we land. Big FN bag of ballin'. Plead the fifth if I get caught, they talk. Came through dripping on them, I been saucing.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today I'm gonna be discussing how you're able to actually inverse an unprofitable strategy and make it profitable just by inversing it. Now, there's two things that we have to remind ourselves before we do this. Number one is it has to follow this criteria. So you can inverse an unprofitable trader or strategy and turn it profitable. However, the unprofitable trader system must follow these rules. First of all, the unprofitable system must be mechanical enough or systematical, meaning it has to have some sort of mechanical or systematic way of identifying the setup that they're taking that's giving them a negative expected value over time. It must have enough data. So number two is it must be proven across at least, I'd say, 100 trades, preferably 100 trades. So let's say someone sends signals and they're at the end of 100 trades, their account is negative off their initial balance. That means they have a negative expected value of their system or strategy. And if it's mechanical enough, all you do is take the opposite reversal of the entries, meaning your TP and stop loss will be inverse of theirs, but the same entry, and you actually come out profitable. And a lot of people believe this is not how it works, but it truly is how it works, because here, I'll go over more of the reason why behind that once I cover this. So, has mechanical enough, systematical, must be proven across at least 100 trades, and it must have been consistent risk management. Meaning, person that did this cannot be risking 1% for one trade and then all of a sudden risk 5% next trade, or have their risk management system in terms of what percent they risk consistently all over the place. Because if that's the case, then it's very hard to really track if their system has a negative EV or not, because maybe they just got unlucky that their one loser or two losers were times they over risked or over leveraged, or maybe their winner was the one that over leveraged and over risked, so they made them look like they had a profitable system. In reality, it wasn't profitable. So there's many ways of looking at this, and that's why it must have these three criteria. So these three all have to be met for this to work. Oh, one more thing, it must be I don't want to say very unprofitable, but I would say very unprofitable to be safe, and I'll explain later why. So we expect it to have at least an EV value of around minimum negative, so it has to be less than or equal to negative 40. So negative 40 is the max. And I'd say even negative 20 might work potentially. That's around like a 40% win rate, I believe. But again, the reason why is because of spreading commissions. We want to cover that part and make sure everything else is logistical. So covering that, you would expect a system like that with the highest negative 0.40 to be considered valid. Because the reason why it has to fit these rules is the risk management, you guys already know. Number two is the law of large numbers. We need a big sample size to prove something truly doesn't work, right? And number one is because we need something that is consistent. If it's not consistent, and if it's a trader that's just guessing for 100 trades, even with consistent risk management, it's just not, there's no longevity in it. Because if you're just guessing, you're taking random trades, and I can't even say it's intuition at that point, especially if you're unprofitable. It doesn't make sense that it's intuition. I guess your intuition is you just have bad intuition. I don't know what to say. Again, it has to be some sort of system that's proven unprofitable essentially. And once you reverse it, you'll basically be profitable. And it can be explained in this way. So let's say trader A, unprofitable. This is their system. Over 100 trades, okay? I'm not gonna write it out. They end up with 30% win rate at 1-to-1 risk reward. So remember, the edge of a system is determined by the win rate combined with the risk reward. Without those two numbers together, a win rate doesn't mean anything, or a risk reward doesn't mean anything. You can have a 1-to-100 win rate, but it doesn't mean anything if your win rate is 1%. And I believe that would be literally break even. It won't be in real life, because obviously if you miss that one trade, it's over. Your account's already over by then. So you guys get the point. This is their system. It's mechanically defined at 30% win rate at 1-to-1, and there are trading systems, you'd be surprised, that are out there that actually are negative expected value, but people are preaching it on YouTube and preaching these strategies that actually don't actually work. They're at 30% win rate at 1-to-1 or 40% win rate at 1-to-1. Even 40% win rate at 1-to-1 is unprofitable. It's well, first of all, mathematically it's negative EV, and second of all, spreading commissions digs into that number as well. So even if someone had a 50% edge at 1-to-1, they're still mathematically they are break even, but considering live conditions with spreading commissions, you will be negative. You'll be unprofitable. So that's why you need to give it buffer space. So remember, 30% win rate at 1-to-1. So now if you reverse this, you then become profitable, because your win rate will be 70% at 1-to-1 R. And I don't understand why a lot of people can't grasp their mind around how this makes sense and how it's actually, it looks very easy, right? I mean, technically it is this easy. If you really find someone that sucks at trading, that has something very mechanical, proven to cause 100 trades with consistent risk management, and their system literally just has a 30% win rate at 1-to-1, reverse it at a 70% win rate at 1-to-1, that's what you will get. Seriously, when they hit their stop loss. I mean, I don't understand how people think this is not how it works when it is how it works, especially if you consider spreading commissions. People bring that up all the time. In this case, it doesn't matter. If you're mathematically a 70% win rate at 1-to-1, let's say after spreading commissions, on spreading commissions, let's say you still be at a 60% win rate at 1-to-1 in terms of EV. I'm not talking about your win rate decreases. Obviously it doesn't decrease, but your risk reward gets cut into. So you could say it's 70% win rate. It's basically, you can convert it to the same EV as a system at 60% win rate at 1-to-1 risk reward. Spreading commissions is not going to cut like 50% of your trade performance, which a lot of people, I guess, think when they think about reversing a system. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, your system will still be profitable even after spreading commissions at a 70% win rate at 1-to-1. Think about this. Trader A takes 10 trades with their TP here. Blue is TP. You guys should understand how I draw this TP. Black bottom is stop loss. So 3 out of 10 times they hit TP. So trader A hits stop loss 7 out of 10 times. So stop loss, let's say they hit stop loss 7 out of 10 times. Trader B, you reversing the system, will hit your TP, you hit your TP 7 out of 10 times, not 3 out of 10, my fault, 7 out of 10 times. Assuming your entry is the same, which it should be, reversing their system, meaning the same exact entry point, just your stop loss and TP are reversed. You have 7 out of 10 TPs, you have 7 out of 10 stop losses, you have 3 out of 10 stop losses, you have 7 out of 10 stop losses, you have 3 out of 10 stop losses, but 7 out of 10 TPs. It's a lot of wording, but you guys know what I mean here. Hope I don't need to draw it on my chart to really display and fuel basic math, but if I have to, I like literally, let's say a trader, let's just give an example. He has a mechanical system that for some reason, I guess he enters on this internal changer character here with a very tight stop. I don't know, something like this. Let's say, well, they're supposed to hit stop loss in this case, right? So let's say they entered here and they hit stop loss here, and that's their mechanical edge played out 10 times, and that hits stop loss 7 out of 10 times because they have a 30% win rate. But the other trader that's taking the same system but reversing their stop loss and TP placement, they shorted, instead of longing here at this price point of 2617, they shorted at 2617. They had their stop loss at the other person's TP that's unprofitable, and they had a TP at the other person's stop loss. And you can see in this case, trader B, you reversing the strategy that's unprofitable, will hit TP. So after that, hopefully I don't need to draw 10 boxes on this chart. You guys understand that, but basic math, right? That's how it works. So now that people understand this, you just really, I mean, when you're backtesting, if you find something that's some reason, a strategy at 30% win rate at 1-to-1, or just anything that's doesn't have an edge, just reverse it and it'll be profitable. Now the thing to be careful is if the system is, this is why I said I would prefer less than or equal to negative 0.40 EV, and why I highlighted very unprofitable is because if trader A's system is at like a 50% win rate at 1-to-1, that's going to be unprofitable in the live market, but it's also going to be unprofitable if you reverse it, because you end up with a 50% win rate at 1-to-1, and you guys know that after spreading commissions get subtracted, you will both be unprofitable. So in that case, both traders actually become unprofitable. But let's say a 40% win rate at 1-to-1. Trader A is obviously unprofitable. Trader B will have a 60% win rate at 1-to-1, and he might be break even. So you guys see what I mean here? That's why I say try to find something, if you already did find something that's very unprofitable. It can't be someone that's close to break even, as that would make you either break even if you reverse it, or even a little bit red if you're at 50-50. So that's why something like 30%, something like someone that has an EV value of 30% win rate at 1-to-1 is preferred, because that means you reversing it will have a 70% win rate at 1-to-1. And in fact, let's pull up my website calculator to demonstrate these numbers real quick. All right, so here is my website, and originally we said 30% win rate at 1-to-1, right? That is a negative 0.40, like I said, EV. That is what we want. We want something that's at least this negative, meaning maximum negative 0.40, lowest obviously however low it goes the better. If you're at 40%, you'll be at negative 0.20, right? Which is cutting it close. You'll be somewhat close to break even, which is not something we're looking for if you're trying to reverse something that doesn't work. Because that means if you reverse it, you have a 60% win rate at 1-to-1, and there'll be a positive 0.20, which is just barely profitable. And then after commissions and spread, that is basically break even. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. So let's say remember 50%. It'll be a 0 EV. So both sides, if you reversed it, you would likely just come out negative, both traders. So keep that in mind. Those are basically the main things really you need to keep in mind when you're trying to find someone. If you were, or you somehow, instead of backtesting and finding a profitable system, you find something unprofitable, make sure it's around like negative 0.40 EV. Just reverse the stop loss and TB placement. Keep the same entry and you're good. You technically have a working profitable strategy. Too many people overcomplicate this, but it's because they believe it's not possible because it sounds too simple to be true. And the thing is, it's not as simple as you think just because it has to meet those criteria that I just mentioned. You don't just take a random gambler that takes random guesses in the market and reverse them. You can, but there's no statistically longevity proven edge there, or non-edge there in that case. Another thing is, if you were to reverse this with like a weird risk reward, like let's say force reward, let's say 15% win rate. You can also reverse a system like this, right? Reversing this would give you what? A 85 win rate with a 0.25. So you have barely a profitable system. So preferably try to find systems that are mathematically easier to reverse, meaning easier to calculate, as in systems that have like a 1-to-1 risk reward average. That'll be a lot easier to reverse. But anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys did learn a lot about how you can reverse actually unprofitable systems into something profitable. Just that easy.